Down in Woodstock, the general store had tents out
Yeah,
front.
all the way up on
All
the
the
trail,
way,
all
all
the
the
way to
way,
Indian
all the
Head.
way.
Ben,
All right, I think, we call this to order?
Ben,
You're a minute late.
Yes.
the meeting that I noticed does not exist in Zoom. What would you like me to do?
2, 4, 6, shit, everybody's here.
Except for Mike, our alternate, but that we can proceed?
We have 7 members, so we don't need
So
much.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
vote anyway.
Yeah,
If he-
yeah, he'd just be sitting.
He would just be an alternate.
I just can't
Yeah.
run the Zoom
Yeah.
meeting. If anybody's
See,
trying to
if-
get into it, I can't start it.
Why?
It doesn't exist. It disappeared.
You made it disappear?
If.
Something I could do.
I'm dangerous.
the way it-
All the planning board
is
meetings are
if one of
gone.
the regular members is gone, then the rest of the regular members will take a vote to have the alternate come in.
Alternates to that.
Right.
Okay.
The
If he
selectment
was-
meetings are still there, but the planning board,
But
planning
if
board meetings are
anybody
gone.
was hoping to attend by Zoom, we got a slight problem. They're not, they don't have access to attend. If it was advertised, they could attend by Zoom, now where?
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, they can watch it, they can watch the whole meeting if they so choose, you know?
yeah.
We record the meeting, right?
Is Rex gonna be there?
It's being recorded on the,
Right.
there,
Are
but
we doing this?
do you want me to post something on the site right now that says that we're having technical difficulties and unfortunately the Zoom is not available?
Why not?
Sure.
Can't
And
hurt.
say a
Yeah.
recording will be up as soon as,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I can
maybe,
do-
maybe
I can do that at
vote.
least.
Maybe. If the notice is flawed, maybe we shouldn't vote. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think we have anything to vote on. There's nothing really to vote on there.
I probably
isn't there
not.
Calder's Pit?
Calder's Pit, we might be able to.
Well, that's if he comes in with anything.
Do we have all the
Yeah,
information?
I believe we had everything. The only thing that's not here, I believe, is the AOT, but he doesn't need one if he's not taking anything out of the site, correct?
Yeah, I think we need it before we approve the permit.
Yeah,
There has to be an AOT no matter what.
I think, I
I
don't know.
think so too.
Yeah.
Which lot is
And
this
I'm all
going
for-
for?
This is for the east
Maybe
side
as quickly
pit.
as we can, but I
The
think,
east side.
The east side pit,
yeah.
not the west side. not the
Here's what
one-
you can do. You can vote affirmative upon receipt of that.
No, because that's conditional, and we don't put
Yeah,
conditional
I would,
approvals.
We got no mess.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think he's doing anything
He's
right
done
now
nothing.
anyway, so it's not the end of the world.
But,
Right.
yeah, he
Yeah,
should.
in this particular, from what I understand, there is no plan, all he does is stage out of there. He doesn't, he's
Right.
not taking any,
No, he stages from the west side.
he stages from the west side because he can't do anything in there.
The east side, I don't think he's digging, but that, I don't think he's blasting or anything,
Yeah,
okay?
and I don't think he intends to.
I don't think he's
Right.
manufacturing either, because I haven't seen a crusher down there.
He hasn't,
Yeah.
I think he's bringing material from other places.
Yes.
Storing it there.
Yes,
This is what's
yeah,
happening.
So,
yeah, we didn't, we'll review the plans tonight. the
And
pictures
with everything
today,
he's got going on, I'm sure they're gonna be storing stuff from, like, the Comfort Inn and
but Everything, yeah.
I don't know.
the
Yeah, all
river.
everywhere.
Is that what's going in there, comforted?
Hampton, Comfort Inn,
Hampton.
Hampton.
Yeah.
Hampton Inn
It could
and
change, the flag could
Applebee's.
change with these guys, they change their flags every 5
yeah.
minutes, so it could be a different
Yeah.
inn by the time they open.
Yeah.
Look up on Route 3, they change every 8 months what they
Yeah,
are.
it's just a matter of outfitting, if they could step it up to the next
Change the
level, Hampton
sign.
Inn, or, yeah. So, we don't have anything to vote on
Oh, What's
at
this?
this point, so
Is there a reason
proceed
why,
as usual.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just posted that we have technical difficulties.
is there a reason that there's 2 separate minutes of the 13th? One was up front, one's down the bottom? Or I
You
just
might have
ended up,
gotten somebody else's
I
copy.
just ended up with 2? Okay.
Yeah. If there's anybody that doesn't have the
Anybody
minutes,
doesn't have
separate
minutes or
copy.
doesn't have,
I don't have it, but I have it on my email, so.
this must be yours. Wait a minute, do I have the tiny house legality?
I read it, but I wasn't here, so I'm gonna abstain on that one.
Here's minutes.
Nope, I've only got one.
Okay, we're gonna do roll call or?
Yeah, let's,
Okay,
roll call,
roll call. Ben,
present.
Bonnie,
Present.
Scott,
Present.
Robert,
Present.
Pat,
Yep. Present.
Hannah,
Here,
Margaret, present. And Mike, not present. Okay.
All right, did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from last month?
yes, I have a question. Why did the meeting adjourn at 2 different times?
Ooh.
because I forgot to delete one of them.
I was like, did I miss something, or did I remember?
Good reason.
Okay.
So which one's correct?
The later one. I think we added Mark Resnick's to the very end of that.
Yeah, the meeting adjourned at 7:20.
Did you talk to him?
I did, yeah.
What do you say?
I don't have a confirmed answer. He admitted, oh, yeah, he admitted he put it on the back burner for the.
Past 16 years.
Well,
And I know.
this is my conversation with him.
No.
He was actually supposed to call today before the planning board meeting, talking to Blacktop, GSM, and Central.
We won't get it done this year.
Yeah, he's got about
Oh,
3
even
weeks.
getting somebody to do anything
Yeah,
this year.
forget it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
I was surprised when I heard the town was gonna be able to get that little piece done on.
We tried, you know, 'cause what's his name asked me about it, I said, I'll check into it about 2 or 3 months ago, so we got,
GMI came up to my house the other
yeah,
day,
we got it working, so.
so I assume they're coming.
They're supposed to,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be one of the last jobs they do in town.
Anyway,
All right,
All right, I move-
motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion with the change.
I'll second it.
All right, Scott, hit us with the selectmen's report.
Nothing really, just,
you gotta take a vote on
You gotta
the
vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, all in favor?
yep, sure.
I have to abstain because I wasn't actually at the meeting.
I wasn't there, so I'm abstaining.
Yes.
I didn't lick it.
Scott?
I said, well, share it.
Bonnie, yes, Scott?
I chewed on it earlier, yes.
Hannah?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
And, yes, okay.
Scott, selectmen's report.
Nothing, we're just, I guess, going into budget season here. We just got done with a water and energy audit of the water and the sewer treatment plant, which was really good, and I think there's gonna be some money there to do some upgrades. I didn't really realize how old the sewer plant was, and so I think, they said that we can't get extra money than what, in other words, there's so many grants out there, you can apply for them all and get these upgrades done. You just can't get cash. That's what they're saying. So I said, okay, we'll be right on it. So next month or two, we're gonna be working on those. And,
So it's shovel-ready projects, hand them off to them and they'll pay for them?
well, this is if we have to prove there's gonna be energy efficiencies, and that's what they did. They did energy efficiency of the sewer treatment plant and the water system. And that would be upgrade the pumps down there to a variable speed pumps, which would be a better way to run the place. And we've been looking at that for a long time. And then also, a lot of us change your variable speed pumps instead of pumps that turn on and off and just run full blast all the time.
Yeah.
So, and they will pay for most of those. What else? Well, working on the peeling thing over here a little bit. That's it right now.
Is that the white and blue trucks that have been running all over town?
Oh, no, and that's another thing that's going on, that's another thing. The water audit's going well. They're really gonna come up. I'm really super impressed with this outfit. I mean, they, so thorough and so professional. I mean, this guy comes from Ohio, and he's got this team here that's been here for 3 weeks. And they're coming back once every few weeks for the next 2 months. And they're really, I think they're gonna solve, or we're gonna know what the problems are when we're done. They're not gonna fix any of them, but they're gonna know what they are. So they're really, really good. And we're gonna have a map, you probably know it, on the, I forget, GIS or whatever it is, on the map of within a centimeter where every connection is and every pipe is and what kind of pipe it is. And, I mean, something we should have had a long time ago. It'll make it easier to get grants and stuff like that too, once we have the information. You know, we have this much pipe here and that kind of pipe and all that stuff. So they were good, and I think we're gonna have, before our meeting tomorrow night, we're gonna approve getting some money from the state, and I think the state's gonna, out of the, you know, the giveaway money, I shouldn't call it COVID money, I think that came from the federal government through the state, they're gonna pay for the whole thing.
Wow.
So it's like 50,000, so it's good.
Wow.
So that's it. Moving along. But- And then the peeling thing, nothing new really on that, so. But we'll see how that goes.
The peeling thing.
The affordable housing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think they plan on starting in the spring.
Well, the, last I saw was the question on the subdivision, and I agreed with them, I didn't see any reason for subdivision.
I think we just gotta go with what the lawyer says, and it's not a subdivision, so.
Right.
But it's not something they're gonna get away with anything either, you know.
Exactly.
John's gone through and made sure the roads are okay for fire. They've made some changes at the last meeting for that. We're gonna make them, I think, I haven't talked to the other people, two select people, but, you know, any big project like that, they're gonna have to pay to go through the fire marshal's office and get it approved and make sure everything's safe and all that stuff too, so. It's, you know, and we're gonna get a boatload on our water and sewer trustees, you know, probably 120, 30,000 towards infrastructure for that, so it'll, could work out okay. I mean, there's mixed feelings. Bonnie thinks it's gonna be a second home community. I mean, then some of the other things, people think it's gonna be, you know, whatever it is, it's gonna be a bunch of people with coded kids moving in, so, I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what actually happens here, so. I don't
My
know.
view on that is, you can never tell. Lincoln Green is not what it was intended
No.
to be.
Yeah,
And neither is a scenic view scenic view park.
Yep.
That isn't at all what it was intended to be.
Scenic-
Everything they want to do
No.
is legal. So,
Right.
White Birch Estates?
Yeah, White Birch. Yeah, White Birch, I mean, White Birch.
I think,
It's not what it was
I think in
intended.
Littleton, it has worked out pretty much as they intended. You know, it is a low-income housing project, and they have a lot of workforce housing. They have a lot of people living there, so. I think the only downside, they had a few coded kids that cost the school some money. I think our advantage is that the school board said to us right in front of us, everyone, that they have room for 40 or 50 kids without having one more teacher, so.
Well, that's absolutely
I saw
true.
those pictures.
well, yeah, I
That
would
is
say that
absolutely
is absolutely true.
So, I mean,
They are
so, I
way
mean-
heavy on teachers.
And that could have been a problem with this if they brought in 30, 40 kids, and we had to increase the school budget, it would have hurt, but it doesn't sound.
We could absorb-
If we can believe them, then we don't have to worry about it. So-
We're gonna absorb a whole bunch of kids.
So I don't know, jury's out, I don't know what to say. I don't know what's gonna happen, so.
Well, it's not going to be built for 2 years anyway, so
Yeah.
the impact
Right.
can't even be imagined at this point.
Yeah, but that's it.
Now, is it gonna be tax exempt?
No.
What are they gonna pay for taxes?
From what I understand, you know, they, what do they call it, pilot, something in lieu of tax or something like that.
Payment in lieu of taxes?
Yeah.
Pay,
From-
make a payment in lieu of taxes.
They haven't come to us with that yet, but my opinion and what I've talked about.
I thought they mentioned that at a selectmen's meeting one night.
We talked about it, no one's ever come up with what it's gonna be.
I think they should just pay their damn taxes.
No, I think the fair thing is, and the way I look at it, is that they should go by the appraised value, what this would appraise for on the market by a revenue thing. So you take the amount of revenue it's gonna bring in, and that, you know what I mean, a revenue approach to what it's gonna, would sell for. And they're gonna be getting lower rents than market rate, so it's gonna be a little bit less. What are the lower rates? Maybe 20%, so it might appraise
Be careful.
20% less.
If you go down that road, they can later on get a grant and not count it as part of their revenue.
I don't know.
They can
Let me ask
offset
you-
and
let me ask you another
prevent
question.
from getting.
Is there anybody else that, in the town of Woodstock, that does payment in lieu of taxes?
I don't think so.
Federal government.
And I don't think we should start, because you're opening a can of worms.
Well, I mean, I'm not in favor of giving them anything, so I'll be honest with you. They're certainly not gonna get anything on the water and sewer tap fees or anything like that, I'll tell you.
I think like the national forest and stuff, they have a special formula.
Do you
They
think
don't
that could bite
pay,
us on the ass later on if we did it for one?
but.
They would argue it.
Yeah, they would argue it.
I know.
Churches,
Are exempt.
sometimes.
So I don't know, no one's even brought it up, so I don't even know where that's going back, I don't.
Well, you know, Scott, I'm just saying, you know, like Hannah just said, somebody would argue that if you did it for one, why aren't you doing it for
Sure.
another?
Well, I think,
And
I think,
since we don't have any, I don't think we should start.
I think what we can say is that when an appraiser goes in there, he's gonna make the appraisal on the revenue, on the way it's gonna,
Which is gonna be a low appraisal.
which will be a lower appraisal than it will be at full market. And that's the way everybody gets appraised, businesses get appraised.
Right, yeah.
So, And that's probably what's gonna happen. It would be my.
Yeah, if you have.
Well, if they do that and it's, same across the board, then.
Right.
That is the same as anybody
Yeah.
else. Like, if they look at my business, they don't necessarily go by just the building. They go by a market appraisal that's gonna be the business as well, too. And I think that's exactly what I'm saying, an income appraisal is what they're gonna look at for this. That's what I would think. I'm not in favor of giving him any break. That's would be my only break, is that the income appraisal will come in a little bit lower because they're not getting as much rent.
But it's the actual, because they're not getting as much. It
Exactly.
would be lower, but not because we're giving
Exactly
them.
right. So we're not giving them anything,
Yeah.
we're not giving anybody else, so.
So what about the Ray Burton place? What do they pay in taxes?
Good question. I think,
Are reduced, because it's the same thing. That's
I think it's the same
principle.
thing, they get appraised.
That's the same principle. Be interested to look up
I'll find out.
what you do for
That's
the
me,
Ray
that's
Burton,
me,
because
yeah.
that is a comparable.
Which one is that?
The Ray
The senior
Burton.
citizen.
In Alpine?
Senior
Yeah, Alpine.
citizen, yeah, and
Okay, the old
Alpine.
age home in there?
Yeah.
That,
Old age apartments.
Believe me, I'm in favor of getting all the tax money we can, so I'll tell you. God. And I think that's all it's gonna be, is I think they're gonna take the income approach, they're gonna look at it and say that's what it's worth as a business or whatever, so.
Well, I remember they came in here and they said, other towns do this for us.
We're not doing it.
And well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not in favor of
Just
doing
because
that.
somebody else
If
does
they think
it,
they-
doesn't mean we have to.
I'm not gonna really be sympathetic if they come in here with a project, they've already spent a couple $100,000 on engineering and architects, and say, okay, we can't do it now unless you give us 40% off our taxes. Shouldn't have spent all that money.
Yeah,
Go on.
probably should have brought that up first. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They should have been, if they were worried about it, they should have brought it up in the beginning.
look at what you do for the Ray Burton building. That
I will.
will tell
That's a
you.
good point.
Well,
That's
yeah,
comparable.
Scott, the other thing you gotta look at is how much is it gonna burden the community?
Yeah.
Because
It's gonna have some, no question.
with workforce housing comes kids,
Yep, exactly. That's my worry. That's the big,
okay? And then our school bill goes up. Now granted, those are separate taxes on our bills, but.
it's the same tax. It's the same.
It's the same tax, but, so we gotta,
But they can take 40 or 50
Well-
kids without any more teachers, so.
They can.
Well, that just means we keep getting overcharged until we get 40.
Yeah, let's
If they
not
get-
go there.
if they get 40 or 50 kids, they're gonna want another $1.5 million.
Anyway, we weren't gonna solve that here.
Yeah,
so.
that's not a planning board issue at this point.
Well, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, anyway,
my line of reasoning is, we do have limited sewer capacity. And so we have an onus to use it prudently. And if a tax exempt project is taking
Yeah.
up all the sewer capacity you've got, and somebody that wants to build something that would contribute to the tax base, I mean, that would be a shame.
They're not gonna max us out, Bonnie, though.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that they're giving us is almost enough to increase the pump station.
So they're gonna contribute,
The new tap fee system, you don't have, the days when you have to ask them for, like Deer Park, we want this or that.
we wanna do.
Now the tap fees are high enough, so with 60 units, they're gonna be paying 160,000 or 50,000 to hook on. So that can go right into the reserve to pay, well, technically it goes right into the budget. My position's gonna be, it needs to go into the reserve to pay for improvements later on, so we'll see.
With the, we'll call it the COVID dollars that you're going
Yeah.
after for the more efficient pumps and stuff,
Yeah.
does that give you the opportunity to talk to anybody about doing that separate water line loop up the other side of the river?
We got nixed on all that stuff. We didn't try that. We tried a new water line just down on Route 3 and stuff like that, that all got bounced. It doesn't mean it won't go in the next one. But we
That
had,
was for replacing the existing, I'm talking about a
Yeah.
different one at a different location.
the trouble is we need engineering for that
Yeah.
to even apply, so
Yeah,
that's a problem.
that'd be worth doing.
anyway, should we get on to
Yep.
these correspondence things?
Tamara Benford, who's she?
She was with North Country Council forever, and she spun off from there and formed her own consulting firm. She does this every year,
Yeah,
sends
she's-
in a letter.
She's offering guidance with the master plan and that type of
She
thing.
does that every year,
Yeah.
I mean, if we ever go down the zoning route, you're gonna need somebody like her.
yeah, yeah.
Well, let's just not do that.
I just said F. I just said F.
That's a bad word.
I know it is. I don't know why I said that.
Samara Ebinger is offering, it was a reminder to get the floodplain management.
Well, don't we have a floodplain board, don't we?
Yeah, but it doesn't exist, yeah. But I
Lots to do
mean,
it.
bottom line, what we've done is like, we follow the current rules now, and anybody that's building in floodplain now has to have a certified New Hampshire engineer. It's on the plan, it's on the building permit, that they have to have a certified statement from a New Hampshire engineer that they're following all floodplain and shoreline protection act, regulations and stuff like that, so. We did that right after the Resnick Circle thing. But they were ending up being in compliance. I didn't think they were either, but they were. But I mean, that way, we're not gonna go down and look and try to make a judgment. They're gonna have an engineer do it, and that, we're not experts, and we can't be on that shoreline protection, so they gotta get an engineer involved and do it, so.
250 feet setback is a little extreme.
It's stupid. But
It's awful.
what we found out,
They eat up acres of people's land.
like Floyd Colley's house down here, that whole house is in,
That entire side of the street.
and all my buildings are too. But there are, when you get a certain distance away, if you're just gonna do certain things like he was doing, the new guy, you can talk to them, this, what they call an expedited, whatever. But anyway, what he was doing, just adding on the addition on the back, a porch and stuff like that, he had the permit within 2 days,
Yeah.
so.
It's a
But
certain dollar amount.
if you're within 50 feet,
Yeah.
zero, don't even talk to him. So that's,
Wow.
but,
It's a certain dollar amount if you spend,
and there's a, there's
50%
little,
of the
there's a
value.
grading about how many big trees, little trees, bushes.
Yeah.
It's over my head, but that stuff. And the trouble is, what happened, like to Marcus, because he was going down towards the river there, he ended up spending almost $20,000 with Horizons Engineering to put on a deck on the back of his property.
Wow.
And do some paving and a few other things.
Who's this?
The old
Marcus,
funeral home.
The funeral home.
Yeah.
So just to do the changes he wanted to do to that property, he had to spend $18,000 in engineering with shoreline protection.
Oh, it's awful. It's absolutely awful.
And she was on the board
It's awful.
of shoreline protection for years.
Yeah, it was.
It's your fault.
Ever.
What was it part of the 250 feet?
That just started.
Yeah.
Yeah, 250 just started, just people are just more environmentally,
Oh, they've gone
Yeah.
over the nut
Concerned.
job side.
Oh, I agree. No, that whole side of the street's all in shoreline protection now.
Yeah.
and most of the stuff starts down, like Winnipesaukee. That's
Yeah.
where it starts. That's where they get carried away with their big docks and retaining walls and, that's where they get carried
The
away.
old charm, though, of everybody having a boathouse is now all,
Yeah, no,
No, like I was thinking about paving, behind the Riverside building to make the parking better and everything, forget it, I'll never be able to do that.
Oh, the drainage and everything?
No way.
They'll never let you do that.
No way.
Oh, it's nuts.
I mean, I might be able to do some type of crushed rock or something. I'm gonna look at it over the winter, but I'm not gonna ask for paving, there's no way I'd ever get it. The town law can exist because they're really good, they grandfathered everything, so if it's existing, you're okay.
Yeah.
But anything new, you're not gonna do it.
yeah,
so.
no, I couldn't do anything at my diner.
Oh, that's right, yeah, because that starts right there, doesn't
That's
it?
right there.
Oh, I forgot about that,
Anything
Ronnie,
at the
yeah.
diner.
Wow.
Okay, you could put millings down.
Okay,
Millings will firm up into pavement.
okay.
It's the ground up stuff
Yeah.
off the highway.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Reclaim.
Put it down and you just drive on it and it hardens up.
So I'm right in the
When
middle
you
of
put it
town, I
it's
can't, I
loose.
figure I'm not gonna get away with paving it during the
Well, there
middle
is
of the
a
night. but-
permeable type of
Right.
pavement.
Yeah.
There is a permeable material you put down that the runoff and the water will just seep down into
So
the
I've got-
In the
ground.
winter, the ice gets in, it destroys
Oh,
it.
terrible, yes.
I'm gonna do a little investigation over the winter, I'll report back
All
in a
right.
few months, but, because I do wanna make it better down there,
Right. Next.
All right, yeah.
Okay, next.
So then we have Sharon and Clark, just wanted to know, which it seems a little dubious, if we allow tiny houses.
Oh, we actually do. There's a bunch down in Woodstock.
Do we have any type of?
No, those
They're
are
tiny houses.
not in the manner that she means it. The tiny, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the dwarf.
lot size.
You're talking about the dwarf condos. Okay, they're called,
Years ago.
across from
Yeah,
storage
yeah,
facilities.
Well, Rex really has some tiny houses right there on the campground.
No, those are cabins.
Yeah, those are the ones with
The only tiny house the true tiny house that I know in town is up at the hostel. They have one in the back.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It sits on a trailer, and it sits on the original trailer it was built on, and it stays there. And they use it for one of their employees.
They call that a tiny house? Because it's
tiny
on
house.
wheels, it's a trailer.
That's essentially what a tiny house,
That's
most
what a
tiny
tiny
houses
house
are.
is.
Most tiny
yeah.
houses are on
So you don't
trailers.
tax them, you don't.
So that's the issue, is that,
If
if you
you
tax
go-
them, and.
So they have water and sewer?
If they hook up to water and sewer, we have charged trailers for that.
If you go,
Yeah,
if you go down, if you're ever going past Mirror Lake Road now, and granted you're in Thornton,
yeah.
okay, where the old Thornton's General Store used to be,
Yeah.
they have a tiny house sitting in the front of their, well, just off to the left of it as you're facing the building.
Yeah.
I don't know what they use it for, I've never seen anybody going in it, but they have a tiny house there,
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
so.
But, no zoning town, we're right for them to think this is
Yeah,
a
but
cool
you
place.
wanna know something? What's the harm in having a tiny house behind,
If that fad lasts. I'll be-
Well,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
there's
no.
that.
yeah.
I would agree with
It's
you,
a fact,
Patrick.
yeah.
Oh,
I
I
think,
did that, go for it.
I think initially, realistically, we'll have 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. But kind of like we were talking about, what if somebody buys 20 acres somewhere and puts 50 of them on there?
Well, that's what they wanted to do to where Calder is now with the campground in
Yes,
Maple
that's
Lake.
true.
Is that what it was?
Years ago, they wanted to
Oh,
put in a
yeah.
bunch of tiny homes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think those tiny homes were gonna be on trailers, I think they were gonna be
Right.
built off of trailers.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they were gonna bring them in as tiny homes, and I think they were gonna sell the lots individually,
They
weren't
were.
they? Or were they gonna rent the lots?
They're gonna sell the lots individually.
Or were the people gonna own the houses and then they own the lots?
I don't
I
know.
I don't remember
Oh, yeah,
how it
yeah,
was.
They-
we're gonna do
But-
that. Yeah,
That was a lot of
Remember
years
that?
We're gonna do.
But who shot that down? The voters shot that down, didn't they?
No,
No,
we said it was
we
a
never approved
subdivision,
it.
and we said it was a subdivision,
It
they
was a
didn't go through with it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
We
was.
said it was a subdivision.
And
It's the
that might
same-
not be the case today. I
It's the
don't know.
same outfit that they went down to Thornton on the Ham farm
Yeah.
land that Carlton owned, and.
Was that the same company?
Yeah, and they got, that's the same exact company, and they got, we never approved it.
There's a
No, we
couple,
didn't.
They
Because
made the
we
mistake
made them
of
go with the
approving it,
setbacks,
and then
the
had
road
to-
widths.
exactly.
They never said it would meet the
They,
standard.
like in
Never
Bristol,
approved it.
they've got a couple of the small.
Bristol, and that guy that used to own the.
I think it was the same company.
Morse,
Yeah.
yeah, what is his name? Morse, I think.
We're down by the lake there.
Moore,
Yeah,
Moore, his name's Moore. He lived up here,
Jeannie, Gessen's got one.
What's that?
Jeannie Gessen's got one of them.
yeah.
Anyway,
But similar to that, and then there's one on Newfound Lake, around the back of Newfound Lake.
Yeah, that's where Gina is.
One tiny home?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
no,
Small.
community of like 30 or 40.
Little
Yeah,
neighborhood.
a community of small, little small
A little
places.
community of them.
Yeah, we're right for it. We're
But
right
I
for
don't know.
vacation homes.
We're not really as ripe as you think, because we have no large lots anymore.
Oh, yeah, we do. Tons around.
Well, where
There really
are the
are.
lots? The Fadden
Well, let's put it
zone,
this way, the ones that are around, nobody's gonna sell for enough to make it feasible to financially do.
That's
that.
right.
Houses are-
Probably
You know.
but, this.
you have 200 acres up on Avery Farm Road, okay?
Yeah.
But that's, to try to put them there, the terrain's too rough to, you might find some place to put one home, but you're not gonna be able to put a whole bunch of tiny homes in there, because the terrain just wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
All right.
The other part too.
I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but it is 6:30, so just procedurally, do we have to start at 6:30 to talk
Yes.
about?
We should.
We should.
Yeah, we can revisit the tiny house thing afterwards.
I think it's over.
Well, then, we're on the Calder thing?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you said there's no alteration?
There's no alteration of terrain. I have everything, if you guys wanna take a look.
Does it say on the
Yeah, that's
checklist that
what-
one of them, that one of the things we need is an alteration?
Didn't I read in the minutes that he has to have an alteration of terrain?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
And, you know, from last meeting?
So let's just
So if there's
continue.
no alteration terrain and he
continue.
needs to have one, then we should push this off.
Yep,
Until he gets it.
yep. And it takes a long time right now.
So I make a motion that we table this until we get all the paperwork that's required.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
second that.
3
Yeah.
weeks.
we'll continue it. Do we want to use the word, we'll continue it?
Let's continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
continue it.
Table it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to,
Scott seconded it.
Scott seconded it.
November.
All in favor? Bonnie?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Margaret?
Yes.
Right.
Myself, yes. All right, so that, okay, so do we need to revisit the tiny house? Do we actually need to have anything?
Another point on the tiny house.
Yeah.
The thing that prevents people from doing that is when you go buy land, you gotta put some cash down.
Yeah.
Banks don't finance land.
Yeah.
At best, for a 200 acre
Sure.
piece, they might finance 50% tops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
for
gotta-
single
you
family
gotta-
residences, there's programs out there, but not.
Well, it's gotta be for less than 5 acres too.
Well, you,
Once you get different
yes,
acreage
yeah.
sizes,
You own-
banks
you own a
change
house,
their
right?
They
view.
do, yeah.
okay, you have insurance on your house.
Yep,
Your house burns down, okay, the land don't burn down.
all right,
There's no insurance on your land other than liability if somebody slips and falls going to your house.
yeah.
All right, so, you know, they're not insuring it, but, you know, if you have a mortgage and the bank, forecloses on the mortgage, they're gonna take your land. They're gonna take the land and the house, even though the mortgage is only on the house.
Oh, yeah, because that'd be used as collateral in some respect, but there are banks out there that do finance land, but it has to
Oh,
be of
yeah.
a certain value. I mean,
Right.
they'd have to, nobody, they don't wanna end up with land,
Oh,
in that circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
In some ways, they want to end up with land, they don't have a building to maintain or,
you still own those cabins down there?
They do, yeah,
Yeah,
the
so,
company
you know,
does,
you got
yeah.
all
I've
that
made
as well.
6 direct land purchases with cash because banks do not
yeah, no.
wanna get involved. They're really push back hard, unless you're buying land to build.
Yeah, that's more common, is you'll have like, you'll have a
And
year.
under a certain acreage
Yeah,
level.
yeah, with a construction loan attached to it.
Yeah.
When I bought that land on Merrill Lake Road, no bank would have given me a loan for that. I had to either pay cash or take out a home equity loan and pay cash.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
bought my land through, with a program through, Bank of New Hampshire,
Yeah,
and it was financed.
they did finance it, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
30% down.
oh, yeah.
So it was less than 10 acres?
Yeah, it's an acre and a half, just barely over an
Yeah.
acre, I think, yeah.
They have different rules for different acreage levels. The smaller it is, the more they'll loan on it.
Yeah, looking more, like you said, for the construction loan or single-family residence, that kind of, or whatever,
Yeah.
along those lines. So do we think we need to have anything in place? Is this gonna be,
Anything we do it has to be a warrant article and have to go through as an ordinance. So,
what?
I mean, if we think it's worth it or not, I don't think
Tiny
there is. I don't
For
think it
what?
is. Tiny, I don't think it's worth it, no, I'm just saying, if we wanted to make any rules about tiny houses, we
Oh,
have.
we don't
need
wanna make
zoning.
rules.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like right now, if you
That's
wanted
it, that's what
to,
we
you
come
can buy
back
one of
to.
those little tiny log cabin kits for 200 square foot log cabin, and stick it on a piece of land if you've got a piece of land.
Yeah, but that's not a tiny house as the definition.
You can put wheels on there.
The,
If you gotta have wheels.
you
You'd be
know,
putting a dolly under it for
it's
Christ's
in
sake.
vogue now, right at the moment, I think it's a passing fancy, but,
I do too.
they're less materialistic, basic, they can move it and travel the country, they homeschool, and, they have kids, there'll be 4 people and they're living in it, and they're just demonstrating how little you do
Good for them.
need to. But it's so claustrophobic, I can't imagine, I would think it would wear thin it pretty soon.
I think it would be people who want to do Airbnb, just rent it out.
Airbnb,
Yeah, I think that would be
that's
more
what.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
The one we actually had to do a water and sewer connection to is next to the house.
Yeah.
And they're gonna run out permanently as a Airbnb, well, they gotta hook up,
Yeah.
that's it.
But I mean,
I don't know,
then you have to start
Scott's got
with
those
tents
nice
and
teepees.
yurts and all
Oh,
that.
I know.
Yeah, Scott, it's the same.
Somebody else brought that up when we were
It's the
talking
same
about that.
I'd say go for it, you know, if he can make a buck off of it.
Oh, I agree. I love it.
Go make a
Oh, those
It's the
Scott's
same
teepees that we're talking about,
exact
yeah.
principle as those teepees. It's the same exact thing. Buy these little things and put them out there in the woods. Yeah, no, he's got his teepees
Well,
out
I think
there.
Bart rents Airbnb's that little trailer.
Does he?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm amazed at what some people are willing to Airbnb, from what I've seen on there, I'm like, seriously, you've got 135 rental days on this? I'm like, holy God.
Well,
Anyway, next one.
next one. Law books are on order, I guess.
Photos.
Photo.
Oh, yeah,
Photos,
we
need to
gotta
do
do
photo review.
Do we have to look at these since we're not doing the pit? Calder's pit?
Well, this is the yearly review, it's not just.
I don't think,
Oh,
I don't think there was anything, except for the Divine property, there was nothing with the other ones that was,
I don't think anything's being done on any of the other ones.
you
The
know.
divine property was the question, the
Yeah.
real question mark.
And I did ask Rex about that machine, he said they were bringing sand in and processing it for loom. That was the state.
We should probably look at those pictures directly, review those pictures, but I mean,
That's the only, I think, the other pits where there's no,
it didn't look like anything was
Didn't
really
look
going
like
on at any of the
anything.
other pits.
No, it didn't look much different.
I mean, there was some concern with the machine down there, and I did ask Rex about it when I saw it. And the statement was that they were processing sand for loom.
Are these pictures, are these separate years? Is that what these are?
Are they 2 years,
So the
Mark?
fancy ones are this year and
Yeah, the ones with
pictures-
four square up are this year's, and the other ones say 2020 on them.
Yeah.
Did you have another set?
I just.
We're gonna
Oh,
share.
okay. Gonna share, all
Yeah,
right.
to share
This
so
last
that.
year's thing, and this is,
Yeah, it's all.
What we
Yeah,
should
all the
do it right.
four
is
I
to
think
do
you
it
share with
last
Hannah
year's
and pass ones
year's
that done, so
CPC.
Scott and Bonnie
I don't
can see them.
think, really, with the three, but that, the only one was the Divine one.
I have them up,
Either one.
yeah.
Out of all of them, I mean, the Divine Pit looks like the only one that's, you know, there's been material moved around.
Yeah,
Cons, nothing happens there. Donahue's, nothing happens there. The one on the other side of the road, there's storage, a bunch of stuff.
what they were as they were on top of one another. I'm not assuming, we were looking for Divine, right?
yeah, I think I gave you the line.
Today was,
So you sent
That's
it down.
nice.
Oh, right, yeah.
All the rest,
That's a beautiful land, that's got fantastic drainage, you can really subdivide some small lots out of that.
oh yeah, the soil is,
Yeah, I mean, in terms of being
Fabulous.
able to have septic systems and the stuff, I mean, this is great.
It's like perfect for a
Yeah.
septic.
I mean, you could really,
Yeah.
really trick it out.
what you're showing is the difference from last year and this year.
That'll work
And
beautifully.
how they've,
And then it's all glacial still.
they've,
Oh, is it?
It's full of clay.
much more of a hill.
How was your, did you have to do anything after you get your septic in?
It wasn't all that bad, just, you know, the thing is, everybody
But
wants
did
to
he
do these
deny
septic
it?
systems with the pipe sticking out of the ground. I don't like those.
He says-
So I had to do some special stuff, so I didn't have to have the pipe sticking out.
Yeah. Did you do a
Since I wasn't here last
I
meeting,
don't know what they call
probably
it,
shouldn't
but
speak to that. You probably-
I can use it,
no pipe sticking out of the ground.
Yeah, so there's just so
Yeah, that's
much-
probably it. I mean, I've learned a lot about that in the last 3 months,
Yeah.
especially the failed septic
So,
system.
and that's what this
Oh,
one
failed
is, it's all
septic
sand,
systems.
that's why you bought the property for sand.
Yeah,
I've had 2 projects go failed
Or
septic.
a
20 grand a piece.
Best thing to do.
excavation company, who needs sand?
If you're on the hill and you can do this, run a pipe out from the bottom of it, so that if it gets all clogged and everything, you can just pull the cork on the pipe and just let it out.
What do we think?
And then your
but
house
here's
doesn't
the
get,
dilemma.
you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't want a new pit, he doesn't want to renew his pit. He doesn't, the only recourse we have if somebody is in non-compliance is to not give him another permit. And he doesn't even want one in the first place. So how in the world do you enforce
And there's,
Compliance.
and honestly, there's nothing really wrong there. But, I mean, I agree, it's not right, probably, you know.
Well,
What, the Divine one?
the
Yeah.
line one,
Oh, I think he has every intention of making that all pretty and everything for his trailer.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too. Is he
Yeah.
still thinking about doing the trail park?
Oh, I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
Even though it's a subdivision?
I think he's so
It
busy
should be
right
a
now.
subdivision. But that's the thing, after reading everything that the lawyers just sent over for the other property, it would apply to his too, and it would be a subdivision.
And like I talked to Rex, he said, I think we're
Doesn't-
gonna be going back and forth with that over the winter. I think it's gonna be a process.
Yeah.
You know, I think he'll get his lawyer involved, we'll get it.
The reason the difference
So it's gonna be
is-
it's gonna be a discussion, we'll come out with something in the end, I think, is what's gonna happen.
You're bleeding.
Oh, I know, I have all these
are you on blood?
burns.
Are you on blood thinners?
No, but I have all these burns, I keep on scraping them, anyway. That's bad, I bleed.
Don't eat on your tan pants.
I know. Oh,
The difference is, you know, and it is unfair competition, and I still maintain it is. The difference is, with Calder, those are gonna be individually owned buildings,
Trailers,
trailers.
or
like any trailer park.
Versus,
Yeah. You just
Peeling
rent in a
is
slot.
the same owner owns the land and the buildings.
right. I
That is
think,
not a subdivision.
I think we
clearly.
need to get Rex,
Um,
and throw it by the lawyers, see what they say. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Since we don't have another trailer, that is a subdivision, another trailer park. I
No,
don't know how we could go down the road and tell him he's gotta be a subdivision, after reading everything I did over the last week.
Oh, I can't assist though, just because we made mistakes over the year, we don't have to keep on repeating. this.
I don't see it as a mistake.
But I think the
Oh, I
difference.
know what you're saying, you
Yeah.
know, I think all of us, you know, from Simon's point of view, just because we did something wrong before doesn't mean we have to go wrong.
Continue.
But
I mean, that suggests something is wrong, I don't.
No, I know
don't
what
see
you're saying,
anything
yeah.
being.
I don't
wrong.
know, you scratch your head and it's a gray area.
I think he's got so much going on right now, I think Rex has got so much going on now, it's probably not.
Let me ask a question. When did the Divine permit expire?
Like last year, I thought.
May last year.
Yeah,
Last
May,
year.
a
last
whole
year.
year ago,
Yeah,
May.
whole year.
So we're talking a year and a half ago.
Yes,
Okay, and when were these pictures taken this year?
September.
First week of September, yeah, there you go.
And there's a machine in there to mill sand.
Right.
So that means he's using it as a pit.
Well, he said he was milling sand, that he was bringing in. That's what I was told.
Okay, and
I'm just saying.
you know, I'm all for giving everybody a fair shake, but this machine is at the bottom of a mountain of sand that was
I
there.
know that.
well,
I'm just,
But like Bonnie said, what do we do if he's not asking for a
well,
permit?
the heck do we
Well, and
do?
that's it. I'm not qualified to go in there and say, you know, 700 square feet of sand has been taken out of that corner.
I get it, I get it. There's really, other than not giving him a permit or telling him, sending him a cease and desist if he had a permit, I don't know. The lawyer, and I hate to keep saying lawyer because.
Oh, I know.
Every time, you know, you talk to the lawyer, it's another $500 or whatever the case may be, but, you know, this is something we need guidance on,
Certainly.
all right?
Probably the state of New Hampshire.
I've been here, what,
Taken care of.
9 years, 10 years, and we've never had this. Everybody just did their thing and got their pit permits and everything else, and now, you know, if Rex doesn't want a permit, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that, he bought the property, he can do what he wishes with it. But he can't run a pit. And to me, just seeing this, and I don't care who it is, it just happens to be him at this point in time, seeing a machine at the bottom of a mountain of sand that was on that and obviously excavated out, that's telling me that he's running a pit. And
I think anybody in their right mind would come to the same assumption. The problem is, what do we do about it?
well, that's where.
Well, you just used the key word, come to the same assumption, so you're
Assumption
assuming.
assumption is not,
Well, why can't,
That you're absolutely
you can
right.
also tell us, to be honest, but that's, I guess, beside the point.
I don't think he's running around trying to circumvent anything.
well, I didn't say he was or he wasn't, Bob.
Well,
I'm
here's the
just-
dilemma, they both came up, we decided the two were in non-compliance simultaneously. That the Divine Pit and the Calder Pit on the west side were in non-compliance. We sent them letters, of both entities, we sent them letters, saying, you guys are in non-compliance. We go after one, you know, probably because the committee got wound up with the gun range and so forth and so on. We went after that one thoroughly, we're still after them and still requiring survey plans and operator training plans and all that. And we've done nothing with Divine yet. You know what I'm saying? The same exact thing, Two, this one is in the process, in works and going
But
on.
he's trying to renew
This
the other one. He's not trying to-
But-
He's not trying to renew the
Yeah.
Divine, so that's why
I
Ben
know,
is saying
I
we
know.
don't have anything, and that's where I'm saying we need to get a ruling, what can we do? Because maybe it's the selectmen that have to say cease and desist.
Well, maybe he
Oh,
has ceased and desist and he's moving it around to reshape it.
Or,
You know,
All possibilities.
I don't
Can't
know.
accuse a guy
And
of
I'm-
something you don't.
I think the better thing to do is maybe have Ben call Rex and talk to him, you know, better than me, you know what I mean? Because I'm suspect all the time. So,
And the better word than assumption would be come to the same conclusion.
and
Or choice of words,
here is another whole facet to it that has made us feel better that we haven't gone after that one, is it certainly appears, and has appeared, that he's developing it into something. And you wouldn't want him to restore it all and then rip it apart again 6 months
It's
later,
gotta be-
because, you know, if he had a concrete plan on there, something he was doing with it, and it was perfect like it is, and you know, if you knew that, you'd feel better about just letting it sit there in non-compliance. It's sitting there in non-compliance because, for
But
a
the thing
good
is,
reason.
but listen to this rationale, though. I just thought of this in my brain. Now, you've got a blank piece of property. You're allowed to move a certain amount of material on a blank piece of property to develop it,
1,000 square yards.
1,000 square
But I
yards.
think
of
he's
material.
way over that.
But I'm just saying, I don't know what it is. I'm just throwing that out there.
He's also allowed to store material that has already been
Yes.
excavated.
Yes,
Yes.
and that's what he told me he was doing, was
That's what he said
processing
he's been
sand.
doing.
But I think Ben should call him.
All, I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I think we're getting it, it will be remediated regardless. And I think that's ultimately what we want with these pits.
Right.
Is once their useful life is done with, they're being taken care of.
And
They're,
this is a great use for it.
Well, that's what the alteration of terrain is, and, you
Yeah.
know, you gotta sit there and fix it.
And this is gonna be a great use for it. If you saw that pit 4 years ago, it was, I mean, scary. It was a cliff and.
Yeah, just big steep banks.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it looks better now, and it really, honestly, I think it looks better. I think having this over 55, I think it would be a great.
You talking about Divine?
Yeah,
Originally, when he was going in there, when Divine owned it, Divine wanted that front area flat.
okay.
So Rex was doing the job, I think, if I remember correctly, it was a barter plan. Rex would do it for him, as long as he didn't put a length of time on it, and Rex could have the sand. Okay, you can't be an excavator and not have access to sand.
That's.
Okay, you build houses, you have to have sand for backfill and everything else.
I think you're absolutely right.
You know,
The
so
barter
it was a bartering thing, he would do the work as long as he didn't have a time pressure, and he got the sand. That's how he was getting paid to do that job, was by getting the sand.
Yeah.
So, but now that he owns it, and if he's still excavating, if he's still excavating down there,
Right,
he doesn't have a permit.
right. No,
So, the thing is he excavating? And if so, is he gonna get a permit? Okay, if not, when's the alteration of terrain kick in?
Yeah,
All I
how
can
many
say
square
is the
yards?
jobs I know he's been doing this summer, spending all his time on, he's taking material out of, not bringing material in.
Well, that's
That's why I'm saying, my
If he- but that's-
expectation is he's bringing stuff to
Well,
those sites.
He said he was sifting sand for the new lift, I think at Loon is what he told me.
right, but he's not.
It was just saying
Rob's
it's coming
just-
out of the-
Rob's just saying that he's not bringing anything in there, he's only taking out. So
Yeah.
if he's taking out, that means he's
No,
excavating.
no, I was saying it's just like the Hampton Inn, he's taking material off those sites,
I mostly.
bringing them over to his.
I think that stuff, as a matter of fact, I know it is, because I followed the trucks enough, going from Lincoln and down, if I'm going home. He's taking that stuff and it's going down to the pits down on Donahue's old pits, either the east side or the west
Yeah.
side. I think mostly to the east side, and all you have to do is go down there and just look at all the tire tracks coming out of there.
But that would be appropriate for that material that he's taking out of that place.
That's right,
Yeah, he wouldn't wanna put that over at Divines, because that stuff is,
right.
that's gravel and
Right.
I don't think he's gonna bring the Divides, because he wants,
he only takes sand there.
he just,
So-
he wants to flatten that place.
Right, and he's already staging out of the other two, so all of his staging
Yeah.
equipment's already there, there's no need to.
Well, he
spend
does it over off Cox Farm too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's always only used that as a storage facility, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever excavated out of there.
Years ago, I mean, they blasted out a bunch of rock and broke it up and got rid of it, but that was like
I don't-
20 years ago,
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, it had to be a long time ago, because I don't remember having a pit for down there.
Yeah.
A permit.
It was
Anyway.
shortly after he.
That was a controversy years
That
ago.
was,
That's where it all started.
That wasn't, but that,
Part of it, I
that was a controversy years ago.
years ago.
That used to be where
some
everybody
thought
went
you needed a
shooting.
permit.
And then there was this concern about lead, and then there was some excavation because of lead. And there was a bunch of crazy crap going on about that, you're right.
So we got what, 2 more things? Public participation, which I don't think there's gonna be any. And then other business.
I think we've discussed everybody.
The one last thing is, DOT's doing a culvert down on 175. So they were just giving us notice as to where it's gonna be and when they're gonna do it. Basically,
It's just a courtesy.
it's just a courtesy letter, but they did ask, they did want if we want to answer them, they did have 3 questions. Does the town have a list of priority mitigation efforts that the DOT may evaluate and consider undertaking if it is determined that the project does in fact require mitigation? This is a culvert on 175. We don't have anything in place as far as, there's no endangered species or anything along those lines. Right. Okay, I just wanted, it came in, I want you guys to know about it, and that's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody wasn't here when I said this earlier, so I wanted to let everybody know. This will be the last meeting I attend in person. I'm going away for my winter trip. I won't be back until the end of April. At that point in time, my term will be up and somebody new will be here. But I will be in touch with Mike, and as long as I'm someplace that has internet, we can be able to zoom in and continue my role here.
Great.
Oh, good.
Good.
If I'm in a place that I don't have decent internet, because I need decent internet to Zoom, whether you guys know it or not.
I do.
Yeah.
Believe me.
I will notify Mike, and hopefully he can come in and be the alternate for me on the times that I can't be here for the meeting.
Well,
But
enjoy
it's
your
been-
trip. Where you going?
I'll be your backup for Mike if Mike ever can't do whatever you might
How the
need.
hell can you be my backup? You're already sitting on the board.
No, I meant in case you can't get a hold of Mike and you need to talk.
Oh, yeah, well, I've never not been able to get hold of Mike, but, thank you.
Where you going?
First stop is Tennessee, the first and last stop is always Tennessee. Be down there with Bonnie's brother and his wife for Thanksgiving. Then down to Louisiana. Be down there for just a week. It's a campground we just happen to like, and so I'm gonna go back. And then Chopper and Amy have doing a 6-month stint down in Kissimmee, Florida.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
She is gonna do the travel and radiology thing. She quit her job up in Littleton. And she's gonna do, and she says, I'm not even gonna get a job before I get there. There's just, the hospitals down there are worse than they are up here as far as staff. So I can get a job. If there's a day I wanna work, I can work, so.
Wow,
So-
good.
Just
so
do it.
they're gonna be-
You're gonna love
So
this.
they're gonna be down there for 6 months, and I'll be in the same campground with them for 3 of those months.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Awesome.
All
A
right,
nurse
so-
friend of mine
and then I'm going
got fired
to,
this week for not getting the vaccine.
Oh, really?
So
then,
she
yeah.
became a traveling nurse. She got 3 job offers and she's going back to work at the same hospital for more money without a vaccine.
I bet that frosty them.
It's not that,
Yeah.
they don't check
Yeah.
the temporary people for the
Yeah.
vaccine.
But if you're that full-time
That's the difference.
employee-
Well,
Just
just
full-time employee.
to
they check.
continue, then I'll be in Savannah for 2 weeks. I'll be in the Smokies and Gatlinburg, Vision Forge for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
And then back to down to Western Tennessee.
Awesome.
So I'll be gone for about 5.5 months.
Nice.
You
Awesome.
know, so I've done it, but anyway, it's been a
You gotta
run.
do that. Yep, it's
It's
good
been a
stuff.
run here. We've had good times, we've had bad times,
Oh, yeah.
but it's been a run. I think I had 8 years on the trustees of the trust funds, and I think I got 9 or 10, I think I got 10 here because I was appointed for a year before I got elected, and so anyway, I think I've done my time, somebody else can step in.
Got a lot of good input.
I'm sorry,
I've
They're
never
always
done the
good,
trust
but a lot of
fund
good
thing,
input.
because I don't even know what it consists of,
what?
being the trustee of the trust funds.
You manage the $1.5 million, $2 million that the town has in all the capital reserve funds.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I mean, I have checkbooks with that, I'm just talking about, what do you
Okay,
do?
basically in the town of Woodstock, we just leave it in cash form because they take money. We looked at, going to Bank of New Hampshire's investment arm at one point in time and putting it in, but like the fire guys, they put money in and take money out almost monthly.
That's my arm. It's
All right,
from
so,
birds
but
also.
they've got 3 people on the board now, but, and the agreement for the school is the Woodstock trustees take care of the schools, well, the school calls them, what does the school call them?
Capillaries, no, oh,
Trusts,
trusts.
yeah, trust funds.
Yeah.
But there's a capital reserve fund is, the town puts tax money into it every year. A trust fund would be if you left the town a certain amount of money under certain stipulations, but the school just happens to call all of theirs trusts instead of capital reserves. Okay, but you have to manage both the school, the town of Woodstock manages both the school and the town of Woodstock.
So
So
there's
the town of Woodstock,
multiple accounts with certain restrictions?
there's sub-accounts. You have a
Special
master account,
purpose type
you have a
accounts.
master account for the town, a master account for the school, and then there's sub-accounts for all, what they call sub-accounts. And if you want money out of one of the sub-accounts, you have to transfer it into the master account, where you can write a check off the master, okay, and give it to whoever's supposed to get it. And then if money goes in, it always goes into the master, and then you have to transfer it to the sub-account. And, we used to do it by paper, and then Citizens Bank forced us to do it, by, computer, and forced us to get, usernames and ID, it was a pain in the ass originally, but
Citizens Bank is the local bank with the highest fees.
so we don't have any fees. Okay, they've got our money in their bank and that's it, but you have to have a New Hampshire bank. A municipality has to have a New Hampshire bank. Okay, so the only 2 banks that we have is Citizens Bank and Bank of New Hampshire. And we just, because Union Bank is an
That's a
out-of-state
Vermont
bank.
one. Yeah, that's a Vermont bank.
All right, so we've never moved it, that's where it's been for years, and there was just, when we went to New Hampshire and Bank of New Hampshire and asked them, all right, it was just too much. What they would do, what they're doing is they're like investing it but it's almost like a certificate of deposit, it's not a certificate of deposit, but they're investing it, but you have to let them know, okay, every December, I'm gonna need this much money to come out of that. So you have to make sure
Yeah,
that when you put that money in,
That's
for a
risky.
year, it comes out at the time that you need it to come out. So, the school, they're notorious for saying at a certain point in time, we need this much money now. Like if they're buying a bus, or if they're buying this, or if they're buying that. Their fiscal year runs from June to July, the town's runs from January to December. So, so you have to give them government paperwork, so they can file their things, you have to do that, twice a year, once for the school, once for the town. So, but, it's not a hard job, it's not hard at all. I mean, I got it down for a while there, I was the only one. I was the only one on.
So, sure, I remember.
Yeah, I was the only one on, I was the only one on.
So if you just.
And then it was me and Linda Hartman.
Nobody be getting
Me,
any.
Linda Hartman, and Karen Trickett were on it when I first got in. Linda Hartman and I were both appointed. Then Linda got elected, she stayed one term. Then I just kept on going, and then Karen didn't run again. And then I just kept on going, and then, but there were, Brad and Darrell used to do it. You own Autumn Breeze Hotel? Okay, they used to do it. But they were doing things that I didn't like. All the accounts and all the statements were going to their private post office box. And, Linda Hartman and I said, Linda Hartman's a bank person. She says, that is just wrong. Okay, so we made it, we had a vote and everything else, and we got, I forget who the third person was, but we ended up getting a third person, and we all had a meeting in here. Everything goes to the town address, and then it gets forwarded to us. Okay, it shouldn't go to anybody, because you should have seen us trying to fix everything that we didn't know, because Brad died, they moved to Maine, Brad died, Darrell didn't remember anything.
I know Brad died.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Darrell didn't remember anything, because Brad did it all,
Yeah.
all right? And, Darrell made the spreadsheet, Brad made the spreadsheet, and nobody had the code to change it. All right, so, because I guess when you do Excel and you make a
When business was
spreadsheet,
done,
okay, and you lock it up, you need the password and, and stuff, and so nobody could change it. And then they were writing checks out of their house, and they were writing, the checking accounts for both the school and the thing, and now you're talking, I'm trying to remember, what is it? There was $3 to $4 million between the school and the town that you're sitting there managing, and that shouldn't be done anywhere but here. Or
Agreed.
here or in the school.
Yeah.
So we said we wouldn't do it anywhere else, and everybody was in agreement, it was unanimously passed with a 3-person board. And the only thing was, if you took a check, is if the school needed a check, you'd take one of their check, or take their checkbook, go to the school and do it in their office. But there was always an office, there was always a copy machine, and everything was done in the appropriate place.
All right, who's gonna give us a motion to adjourn?
I do.
Yeah.
Second, good.
So the other question, yes,
But
but
anyway,
anyway,
best, Monty.
thank you. Like I said, it's been a run, but
Thank you.
like I said, I'll still be here. Thank you, and I'll still be here, but only if I have internet.
Are you leaving before the snow comes tomorrow?